Made for Me, Chapter 36. That night, Danielle decided to head over to Stars and Stripes. She watched the bustle in the room. Lonnie was right about one thing. The success of the restaurant left the chef with very little time for anyone else, herself included. In fact, outside of Saturday nights, she rarely saw her best friend. Danielle went directly into the kitchen, waiting to catch Lonnie's attention. "How are you tonight?" she asked. "Good," Lonnie replied with a tired but satisfied smile. The dance music was thumping in the background when Max, Lucas, and Christian came in. They waved and she greeted them warmly, giving them her special booth that she, Lonnie, and Stephen permanently reserved for Andre. It was the least $250,000 could provide. "How's the trading going?" Lucas asked Danielle. She sat beside him. "As of this morning, I have $7 billion of other people's money under management, so I'd say pretty good." Lucas blinked. Max coughed, and Christian, well, he was Christian. He just sat there gazing at her. "Can you take our money?" Max asked. Danielle laughed. "Sure, but I want to make one thing crystal clear. I am not allowed to fraternize, date, or otherwise become romantically involved with any client," she continued, pausing for effect. "And if I do, I will get fired and sued. So if those terms and conditions are acceptable to you, then you can become my client. Oh, and you have to meet the minimum investment of 100 million francs. But the managing director has been known to make an exception for my network." She gave them all a wink. The men were completely silent, torn between laughter and shock. It was Lucas who spoke first. He turned to Max and said, "That bastard, he never told us why." "Well, we couldn't ask you out anyway," said Max sullenly. "Andre would have our heads on a hockey stick." Danielle assured the three that Andre was long since beyond caring about her. They looked at one another and said nothing. Apparently, they had a man pact on the subject they weren't going to break. "The good news is you can still come here and eat my wonderful food at his special table." She took their orders and wished them a good night when they left an hour later. Sure enough, the following week, Ulrich approved the extraordinary low investment capital of 5 million francs apiece from each of the three men, and for the first time, Danielle could proudly say she knew them and had fully disclosed her non-dating situation. She waited for Ulrich to ask, but of course, since she'd given full disclosure, he never brought it up. October 2nd, Danielle celebrated her 6.5-month anniversary in Zurich by calling Giles. "Is it time to break out the dry suit?" "And a face mask," he replied. "Not much longer and I'll close the joint for winter." When she arrived, Giles had her board and sail out. He told her to turn around so he could zip up her back. "The least I can do," he remarked. "And why's that?" Giles grunted. "Because you must be getting lonely about now. Andre has told anyone who's male and a friend that they better dare not date you." Danielle whipped around. "Are you kidding me? Where in the world did he get off telling his friends what they could and couldn't do?" "True story," he said with a shrug. Pragmatism asserted itself. It wasn't like she was going to start dating their mutual acquaintances anyway, but it was the overreaching that annoyed her. She tamed her reaction. "I'm so glad that's cleared up because, I was here ready to rush into your arms." He said. "I'd rather see you mostly naked in a bathing suit any day. Dating is so high maintenance." She laughed, grateful she wasn't going to lose this relationship. She rode along the waves for the next 90 minutes, enjoying the freedom of the water. She easily avoided looking at the slip where Andre kept the boat. Yes, they'd been in love and would have continued on together. But the experience hadn't left lasting scars, and for that she was grateful. That evening, Danielle told Lonnie about the gondola ride with Lars. "A rebound makeout session," she said. "Everyone needs it." Lonnie's light-hearted response didn't take away from the fact that Lars was a remarkable man with whom she shared an indisputable, if fleeting, connection. She should probably thank the man for being the smart one by remaining distant. This way, they remained rational, objective, and highly driven professionals.